This is Bomb Hoops Podcast. Good day, everyone. This is Palm Hoops Podcast, the newest basketball podcast in the Philippines. My name is Angelo. Together with my co-host Aberin, we'll be talking and debating about news and happenings in the NBA, PBA, and PBL and college hoops here in the Philippines.
So, what is this channel all about? Basically, we tackle everything starting from the local basketball scene all the way to the pros and international leagues.
Aside from that, we'll be adding some funny commentary just for some laughs, just some meme-worthy content, just to get the show going, such as...
Paano masabi?
And...
Dalawang beses na yan!
Anyway, we hope you enjoy this podcast and let's get this show started. So Jem, why don't you introduce yourself para naman magka-idea yung mga audience natin kung sino ka ba and sino ba tayo? And also, para maging validated naman yung mga sinasabi natin with the podcast.
And alright, so hi, I'm Jem. Actually, just graduated college last July.
Nice.
23 years old. So, from a basketball perspective naman, I started picking up a basketball at age 3 since my dad was a diehard hoops fan and also plays the sport as well. And my favorite teams, parehas kami ng dad ko, solid Laker fans. And for the local basketball scene naman, my favorite team is Talk and Text, Tropang Texters. Yan.
Nice.
So, favorite basketball players naman, syempre, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Asitaw Lava. Ayan.
Solid players, bro. Idol natin yung mga yan. So for me naman, I'm a 22-year-old from Bulacan and I also graduated I actually graduated about a year ago. And I come from a family of Lakers fans actually. Yung mga tito and tita ko na natira sa LA and Vegas, lagi sila nagpapadala ng Laker merch sa amin. So pati kami naging fans na rin. I've been following the NBA for 8 years now, simula nung Big 3 era ng Miami tsaka ng failed super team ng Lakers. I'm a big Kobe fan. I actually have a tattoo na dedicated kay Kobe since he passed away. Rest in peace. And I also got a couple of Laker merch and a couple of Kobe merch. So since this is our first episode, let's give it a try first. Give them a taste of what we are gonna be bringing to the show. So since this is gonna be a sort of a talk show debate podcast, we're gonna talk about the top 3 teams for next season in the NBA. So Jem, why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. So, starting from the Western Conference, basically, I have 3 teams from the Western Conference. So, my first team is the Dallas Mavericks. Why? Kita naman natin si Luka Doncic nung playoffs. Ibang level talaga. Injured and all. Gumagawa. And buzzer beaters, clutch, involving its teammates. Ibang level talaga. And actually, he might be a dark horse for the MVP race starting next year. Imagine, second year pa lang niya sa NBA. First team All-NBA na siya. And the sky is the limit definitely for the Mavericks. Not to mention, yung supporting cast niya, solid na solid din. There's Kristaps Porzingis, Seth Curry, and THJ, Tim Hardaway Jr. Sobrang solid ng supporting cast niya. It's about kung kailan niya ma-reach yung full potential niya. That's basically it. So, ano bang comment mo dun, bro?
Actually, kung ako yung tatanungin, if it's the Mavs, I don't have the trust yet for Kristaps Porzingis' knees. As we've seen nito mga nakaraang seasons, his knees have failed him. So, at a young age of 22? We're not sure if Kristaps can be that supporting star to Luka in the coming years. He needs to be that second star for the next 5 years. As for Tim Hardaway Jr., he's a good player, he's a steady player, but sometimes he's tricky as well. So, kailangan natin na makita na kaya ba ni Luka i-elevate yung play ng teammates niya up to the point that they can be as consistent as he is. Someone like him can do that. Someone who's a pass first, who's such a good playmaker and a scorer can do that. Yun yung kailangan natin makita from the Mavs. Basically, yung pinaka-weakest point nila para sa akin is the uncertainty with Kristaps Porzingis.
Okay, kinda agree sa'yo, bro. Kasi, actually, nilaro pala ni Porzingis yung torn meniscus niya. Sobrang sakit nun. Nilaro niya yun nung playoffs and I'm not sure why. Pero, ayun nga, ultimately, they got defeated by the LA Clippers. Pero look, judging from that series alone, imagine Luka Doncic alone, nakaisa siya sa nakaisa siya sa LA Clippers. And I think one of their biggest liabilities other than yun nga na question mark si Kristaps Porzingis is their defense.
Definitely, tol.
If you can see, wala silang defensive stopper talaga. Perhaps you can consider MKG, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who's a very good defender.
Definitely a good defender in MKG. Don't forget about Dorian Finney-Smith. He's not that good in terms of other games, but his hustle is there.
Ayun yeah. So basically, they're a very good team actually. Perhaps in the free agency, makakuha sila ng ilang pieces, and there are also rumors that they might get Giannis. So
yeah, I've heard of those
ibang
rumors.
level yun.
Delikado yun. Delikado for the whole NBA if Giannis moves to the Mavs.
Kasi he has it all. He's a big guy. He can defend, and actually he's the defensive player of the year. And imagine having 2 first NBA talents in your team.
As we've seen from the Lakers, having 2 All-NBA first players on your team can really take you to other heights. Pero
exactly.
Pero yun nga, as we can see, there are still some uncertainties with the Mavs, but we'll see by next season if Kristaps can hold up, if their defense can hold up, if they can elevate their play more in terms of defense, because this season they were the best offensive team in NBA history.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a matter of just improving their defense na lang. Kasi sabi mo nga, they were statistically speaking the best offensive team in NBA history. So what if you match that level of offensive output with elite defense? Imagine na lang yung dynasty ng Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors when they were winning championship, they were blowing out teams because they are the number 1 offense in the league, or perhaps top 3. But they are also top 3 and sometimes the best team in the league.
Defense,
defense. So I think if they can just improve their defense and pray that Kristaps gets a full recovery, matagal-tagal pa naman, still the start.
I've heard rumors that the start of next season will be maybe in March. So that will be a real long time for Kristaps to take his knees, to make his knees healthier.
Ayan, so yeah, I have a lot of faith in Luka because ibang level, kumbaga, he has 99 potential in NBA 2K.
He's a generational talent, much like LeBron.
All right. So I think we got that covered. My second team from the West will be the Denver Nuggets. Basically, kita mo naman yung performance nila this playoffs. Very historical ang ginawa nila. Coming down from
3-1. Twice. Yeah.
And hindi lang basta-basta yun. They came back 3-1 against the Clippers, who na sinasabi ng majority of the media people who are the favorites in winning the title.
Well, it's all about the narrative, bro.
Yeah, fair. But I can understand. Imagine, Paul George was a top 3 player last year. He was a finalist in the MVP conversation.
Also in Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not to mention Kawhi Leonard, who just became NBA Finals MVP. So, on paper, the team looks complete. But still, this is all about the Denver Nuggets. Tinalo nila. They came back 3-1. Jamal Murray is starting to become mature in the basketball court. And not to mention their ace with the Joker, Nikola Jokic. Ibang level yung passing ability niya. And he has a very, very good soft touch with the basketball. I think the only thing that's stopping the Denver Nuggets to be a legit title contender na katatakutan talaga ng lahat ng teams is defense din. Same with Dallas. It's defense. Because if you notice, they don't really have a defensive stopper. They just overwhelm their opponents with their offense. So And what do you say about that, man?
I think actually Denver is gonna be a great team in the coming years. Since bata pa naman si Jamal Murray and bata pa si Jokic, and we also can't forget about the performance of Michael Porter Jr. in the bubble games and also in the postseason. Although mas limited yung games niya, but he came up in the clutch. Lalo na nung Game 6 and Game 7 ng Denver vs. Clippers. Although I think we're taking Jamal Murray too high to a pedestal. We've only seen this performance during the bubble games and more so in the playoffs. We haven't seen Jamal Murray perform this in an 82-game season. So hindi natin masasabi if he can do this consistently on a night-to-night basis for almost a year. So I think that's still questionable kung makikita natin yon for next season. Although he's been good during the season last year and also this year, maybe we have to see first if he can play at least to a level somewhat like CJ McCollum, someone who's so consistent at scoring and playmaking. Also, the defense with Denver are still questionable, especially in the interior. Since Jokic is not that great of a defender, he's good but not great enough to stop players like AD or someone like Giannis, who's really strong in the paint. So they have to find that player. May it be Ball if he can develop into that kind of player, or if they can keep Jeremy Grant and develop him more as a stopper. Yun. So I think Denver's got it, but still questionable. Let's see next season if they can improve on those parts of their game, which I think Mike Malone will really do a good job with, since he's been a good coach.
Actually, the main X factor for the Denver Nuggets success will be their youth brigade, with starting with MPJ, Bol. Sky's the limit then for this team. Ibang level din yung potential nila. And to be honest, if you're gonna ask me, there are shades of Kevin Durant in Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, you can definitely see that in his game.
Yes, it's a matter of defense. Perhaps they can get a guy like Draymond Green. Yeah, even someone like Bobby Portis, who's a big body and who can bang inside the paint. Okay yan.
I actually think Al Horford is a good fit. Lalo na ngayon since the Sixers are planning to move some pieces, since this season has been a disaster for Horford and Embiid, since it's not really a good fit. So maybe we'll see a trade happening soon after the season if Denver fails to move on to the finals. So we'll see. But I think more on developing the defense of the team internally, because they have the natural parts of the game to be a good defending team. They're long, they're athletic. So maybe they can start there and adding some rotational pieces that can defend as well.
Yeah, exactly. However, I'm not sure if may cap room ang Denver to be flexible in the free agency. So it's still a question mark. If they win the title, make the finals, di pa natin alam eh. So I think hindi pa final kung ano yung magiging output nila for next season. I mean, we're just predicting things here. So my third team will be, of course, Lakers.
Definitely.
Kasi when you have LeBron and you have AD, anything's possible.
Dude, LeBron, Vino, aging like fine wine.
Yeah, exactly. It's a matter of it's a matter of being durable. LeBron is getting older. But surprisingly, halos lahat ng critics ng Lakers, when they look at the roster, sinasabi nila, AD is brittle, hindi siya ganun katibay, he gets injured a lot. But looking at this season, he barely missed games. And yung mga nami-miss niyang games is, let's face it, it's load management.
Yeah, load management games naman lahat.
Pero he was not really out na talagang out of the lineup. He's just there na wala namang injury, pahinga lang. And I think if you have LeBron James, you are going to attract free agents. And of course, the city of LA, anything's possible.
Yeah, as we saw with the Clippers, they got a lot of they were such an attractive team to fans and also players. For example, Marcus Morris Sr., such a good player, and he chose to go to the Clippers. in a trade. Yes, it was a trade, but he actually had the power to control that trade, judging from the contract and also from his play. You gotta give credit as well to the training staff, to the doctors of the LA Lakers for maintaining AD real well and also LeBron James. Because as we know, AD used to have a plethora of injuries back in New Orleans, but he was maintained well by Kobe's doctor, Dr. Judy Zero, and also LeBron. They actually have a good trainer now that was able to maintain them and keep them healthy for the season. Although we had suspension the season, they were still at full health when we came back. I think the question mark with LA though is who's the third guy still? Will Kuzma be that guy next season? Will he be finally able to elevate his game at least to the level of a consistent six man? Someone like Fred VanVleet during the year that Kawhi played with the Raptors, or someone like Lou Williams. That's something that we have to watch out for. If someone can step up when LeBron can't play to the way that he used to be, or he needs to take a rest.
Another weakness that I see with the Lakers is their backcourt. Basically, their guards are who's on the roster? Rondo, let's say Avery Bradley, J.R. Smith, and Dion Waiters, Quinn Cook. Those guys are not starter quality.
The only guys that's gonna be staying probably after next season is actually Avery and maybe Quinn Cook, since they were the original players in the roster before the bubble.
And Rondo is not getting any younger. I mean, yeah, he's good, but I highly doubt that he can maintain that kind of play for 82 games in a long season.
Yeah, actually, this playoff Rondo games, it's really surprising right now. Yes, we know it's been kind of urban legend in the NBA that when the playoffs come, Rondo steps up his game. But for how long can he maintain that? Remember, before the series against the Rockets, he was supposed to play against the Blazers, but he got back spasms. So I think that's gonna be a big issue moving forward with Rondo. So the Lakers need to find someone that can be that playmaker in the second unit, or at least someone that can start instead of someone that's just a defender in Avery Bradley.
And also, Dwight Howard is playing in a minimum contract. Am I right?
Yeah. It's actually used to be a non-guaranteed that they guaranteed back in January.
Yeah, so it's a factor because if you look at the LA roster, their true centers are Dwight and McGee. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there are rumors about DeMarcus Cousins having a verbal agreement with the Lakers, even after when he...
Yeah, after he was waived.
Yeah.
There are actually rumors about that, but we'll see still, since I think the Lakers will have an open roster spot by next season, since maybe someone like Jared Dudley will be out of the team since they've already built that culture. I think Dudley has served his purpose, so if they're getting a talent level player such as DeMarcus Cousins, I think someone like Dudley would be expendable.
Yeah, I think. And also, a lot is riding if they win the championship. Because remember, AD has an expiring contract. And yeah, there are reports na he is going to resign with the team, na it's a done deal, but we never know. I mean, there are also rumors in Chicago which is his hometown team, but there are rumors that he will sign there.
But I actually highly doubt that Chicago rumor. One, first, because Chicago as a team right now is not that good. They only have Zach LaVine as that number one star, but we aren't sure yet if Zach LaVine is a star or is just performing because he's on a bad team. Also, Otto Porter Jr. hasn't played in a while, so we don't know if he can bring back that game that he used to have in the Wizards. Aside from that, they have weak point guards, still young point guards in Kobe White. Maybe if it was maybe 3 years from now that they said that AD might be joining Chicago and the players would be much more developed, maybe that would be a big rumor. But as of now, I don't see it happening. If AD does change teams, it won't be Chicago for me.
So what do you think will be the teams? Possible AD destinations other than the Lakers.
It's hard right now because I don't see a team that's contending or that can build a contender that has a cap space. But if one team is actually looking for something that AD can bring and maybe can move pieces, it's probably Boston. Boston has done great things with their drafts, with their trades. The only question mark is, as like last season, when AD was requesting for a trade, his father said it himself that AD is not gonna play for Boston. But if you would check the NBA, Boston is actually the best fit if Anthony Davis changes teams.
How about the Dallas Mavericks? They have the cap room.
Oh yeah, the Mavs. I think it would.
I highly doubt
I,
it though.
yeah, I doubt it as well because they already have Kristaps and they're actually built already. And if you're performing in a really good team, even if the Lakers lose in the finals, since they're already in the conference finals, maybe a little bit doubtful. There'll be some doubt if they lose in the conference finals. But if they make it in the finals and maybe they lose, I think AD will still stay because reaching the finals is really hard. So
Yeah.
just reaching the finals, I think that's enough to make AD stay.
Yeah, so I think the future of the Los Angeles Lakers heavily relies on if whether they win the chip or not.
Yeah, and also on who they can get for the next season and the next seasons actually. Who they can get to pair with LeBron and AD, and actually after LeBron either retires or leaves LA, who they can pair with AD. That's gonna be the one of the few question marks in the coming seasons. And
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
of course, Kuzma. What's the future of Kuzma in the LA? Is he a role player? Is he a six man? Is he a future starter in LA? Because remember, he was the chosen one to stay for in the AD trade. They didn't include him in the package.
Which is
So
which is very surprising.
yeah, because it's really hard for I mean it's really weird because AD is such a generational talent and you only got one consistent player in that trade in Brandon Ingram and a high draft pick that has yet to perform for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Lonzo's playing well though.
Yeah, but he shot badly in the bubble, so we'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see if Lonzo can actually turn into that starting point guard that's super, not maybe a superstar, but someone like Andre Miller type of point guard. Yeah, I'm still rooting for the Pelicans since they're all former Lakers and Josh Hart, Ingram, and Lonzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can't deny the talent in Zion Williamson.
Yeah, boy. All right, so let's move on with your top 3 teams from the East for
Okay.
next year.
Okay, my top 3 teams. Of course, the number 1 seed, the Milwaukee Bucks. Why the Milwaukee Bucks? With just 2 words, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, who can say no to the 2-time MVP? Congratulations, by the way, to Giannis for winning a second consecutive MVP. Well
Is
deserved.
it deserved though?
I think it's well deserved because he had the best performance in the regular season. Remember the season, the awarding was measured only from the start of the season up to the suspension of the season. So he deserves it. We can't count into the equation his performance in the playoffs and in the bubble games. And also, when you have the MVP, when you have such a player, such a transcendent piece, anything can happen for you. He's got some good teammates, although I have doubts with the likes of Chris Middleton if he can step up to be the number 2 guy to uh, Giannis and also Bledsoe. I think they need to make a trade actually to be that next to be a championship level team since they got beat by Miami. Kudos to Miami for beating them, but if you look on paper, the Bucks are such a better team than Miami.
I honestly think that you're going to sweep right through the finals.
Yeah, they had that feeling to their lineup that they had that power to go through straight, going to the finals. But as we saw, they stumbled. They failed against the Miami Heat.
I think I mean, Chris Middleton is a good second option. I mean, he's an all-star, and if you watch the game that the the Bucks won against the Heat, it was all about Chris Middleton.
Yeah, Middleton actually stepped up in those parts, but I want him to step up when Giannis is there, not when not when their backs are against the wall and they're in the brink of elimination. Want him to do it as at the point where they have to win because they want to win and they need to win to advance, not to win, not to lose, not to get out of the bubble. Also, I think that Bledsoe deal that's really gonna hurt them in the future. They still have about 3 years left in the Bledsoe deal. I think maybe they should have kept Brogdon. Maybe they should have gotten someone else. I've heard rumors that Chris Paul might be headed to Milwaukee. So I personally I think that's a good fit. Giannis gonna get more open shots with Chris Paul manning the point, and also Middleton as well.
And also Dante DiVincenzo. Don't forget that dude.
Dante's been amazing. His defense, his shooting. I think he's gonna be a great player in the league. Maybe someone similar to Tim Hardaway Jr. Someone who's such a good scorer inside, outside, and also defends decently.
Yeah. My main issue with the Bucks though is their bench. It's not that good.
Yep, their bench is depleted. They really had losing Mirotic to the EuroLeague really hurt them. I think if they had kept Mirotic, they would have a much better chance in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think it's a matter of the system of Coach Bud, because having Giannis drive straight to the rim with their shooters on the side, it's kind of predictable.
Yeah, it's a really simple game for Milwaukee, and also the rotation. One thing that hurt them is actually not playing heavy minutes. I think they were so good playing in just 3 quarters that they didn't know how to play 4 quarters in a game. So when it came to the crunch time in the playoffs, they crumbled. They didn't have that consistency to play tight games in the fourth quarter. So when things got tight, Giannis wasn't there to take over games.
Yeah, I see. Do you think that Giannis should be the one for the one, meaning the point guard, the ball
Yeah.
handler for the Bucks? Do you think that should be the case, or should he play off ball more?
Uh, Judging from how they played in playoffs, I think they can do it a half and half. You need to have Giannis engaged in the offense and not just someone who's standing there waiting for the ball to come to him, or just someone who's cutting them. He's too big to be a cutter. He needs to have the ball and also he has Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is such a good shooter from outside. He shoots at least 3 feet away from the line. If he can make that such big from half court, a pick and pop from half court, no one's stopping that pick and pop.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
So I
Yeah.
think Giannis should handle the ball more. Maybe put some more shooters. Try to get someone. Maybe if they can get Mirotic back, that would be really awesome for them. Though highly doubtful. Maybe they can get someone like Nemanja Bjelica or someone like Davis Bertans in a trade. I think that would work for them. Someone big that can shoot. Someone that can provide size and shoot as well. Since they already have the guards that can defend and shoot.
Honestly, the Morris brothers sounds good for them.
Yeah, Marcus Morris Sr. He's a free agent after this season, and if the Clippers plan to keep Montrezl, Morris would be a good choice for the Milwaukee Bucks.
And I think they're lacking veteranship actually.
So you think they should get Dudley back?
Yeah, your proposition about Chris Paul is sounding good actually. However, I don't know what assets are they going to offer.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult for Milwaukee, but as we've seen in the past, teams have been able to work around contracts. No contract is untradeable. As we saw with Russell Westbrook and Paul George, despite having big contracts and questionable play before they were traded, they still got traded. So we'll see if they either for Chris Paul in exchange for Bledsoe, or maybe a three-team trade. Maybe someone comes up and makes it work for them. We'll see. We'll see in the offseason.
All right, so I guess that's enough of the
The
Milwaukee
Milwaukee
Bucks.
Bucks.
So let's
Okay.
move on. What's your second team?
My second team would be Boston Celtics. Yes, I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Laker for life, but I definitely see the Boston Celtics making a rise and making a big step towards the future as a maybe even a dynasty in the 2020s. If you would look at their lineup right now, they have players below 25 that are playing at an elite level in Marcus Smart, and Jalen Brown, and Jason Tatum. Especially Jason Tatum. I think he can be the next two-way superstar in the league. Maybe not the level that LeBron James plays or the level that Luka Doncic plays, but he can be right just below them. He's shown that he can take over in some games, but lately he hasn't. Maybe it's because he's become more of a team player. But you can see it. He's a two-way talent, and he can be a superstar if he can develop more of that clutch gene, more of that scoring ability, more of having the ability to make plays for his teammates. Also, they have Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker may be 30 years old, but as we've seen in the last year's finals, having a veteran point guard really helps you, as we've seen with Kyle Lowry. Sure, Kemba might not be the stout defender that Lowry is, but the playmaking and the veteran leadership, just having that steady hand at the point will really help your team win a championship. We've seen it with the Lakers back with Derek Fisher, and we've also seen it with Tony Parker during his earlier days. I think the only weakness we could see for the Boston Celtics is having a big man. Maybe they can get to develop Robert Williams. Robert Williams was actually thought to be a high pick during his draft, but he fell to the Celtics. Maybe they can develop him to a solid defender. Tice has done a good job. Maybe they can get someone that can play the 5 and move Tice to the 4, so he can play a more natural position. Also, Taco Fall, he looks really crazy for that height. Maybe they can develop Taco Fall even to that role player position. I think that can be great for the Celtics.
Yeah, someone like Boban Marjanovic, who's very efficient in short minutes.
Yeah, Boban would work actually. They didn't lose someone like a Horford. Horford would still be a good fit for this team.
Yeah, exactly. Kinda made me realize why did the Sixers get Horford?
Yeah, it's actually a dumb deal. I never really got the point in getting Horford unless they played Horford as a 6-man, because Embiid was already clogged up in the paint because Simmons doesn't really take outside shots. And for Horford, I think it was about the money because Kemba got paid in Boston. That means he gets paid less. Maybe they can find someone like a Whiteside, someone that can block shots, someone that's a big body in the middle.
They have Enes Kanter though.
Enes Kanter is good offensively, but as we've seen, Bam Adebayo's playing him really well in the offense. He's just taking dunks and just posting up easily on Kanter.
To be honest, I think they're lacking veteran leadership.
Yeah, having that veteran voice in the team really makes an impact. Just looking at Miami, they have Jimmy Butler and Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala, I think, has been a great X factor for Miami. So that's something that Boston lacks in this series that we've seen so far. Maybe they can get someone like although Vince Carter's retiring, I don't know. Maybe someone like George Hill.
Yeah,
just someone that's been there, that's been in long playoff runs, that's someone that's faced the greatest of the greats. Having someone like that would really help Boston.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think when I watch the Celtics, sorry for the Celtics fans watching now, it's like they lack bite. How do I say this? They lack spunk. They
Yeah,
lack.
they lack that strong mentality, that
Yeah,
takeover in them. Marcus
yeah,
Smart. Marcus Smart has been great, but he's no Draymond in terms of leading a team.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, I agree. They need a big guy who can cover the middle because size is good, but he's too small.
He's too small. He's really a four. As we've seen last season, when he played with Horford, he's actually more of a four. Also, it's really taxing on the part of Jalen Brown and Tatum to be depending even in the paint. They're really perimeter defenders. They're great perimeter defenders. They're great defenders in themselves, but it's gonna be taxing on them. If they can get a good big man that can defend, I think they can perform better on offense because it's less of a burden on them.
Yeah, and imagine perhaps facing someone like Anthony Davis in the finals.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard.
yeah. AD's gonna eat them up alive.
Yeah, I can't see Thais being a match with AD.
Mm.
That's what I think. That's enough for the Celtics.
I think we've covered a lot with the Celtics. Let's move
Okay.
on to the last team, the Miami Heat. I mean, anyway, the Miami Heat, they've been amazing in the playoffs, as we've seen, and they're only gonna get better. Yes, Jimmy's getting old. He's still in contract for 3 years still, but as we've seen, he's still playing at a high level. Goran's gonna expire his contract, but I don't think he's gonna leave Miami just that easily, especially now that they're performing so well in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we're definitely gonna see Goran come back to the Miami Heat, and also excuse me, they got real good players in Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson. You cannot let Duncan Robinson free. That man is a killer. Just
Yeah, to
looking
be
at,
honest, I can see Klay Thompson
yeah, it's like
and Duncan Robinson.
yeah, it's like younger Clay Thompson that he doesn't have that dribble moves, but man, that stroke is such a deadly stroke. And
And I think, yeah, go. Sorry.
and Tyler Hero, he can have such a high ceiling and also a decent floor. He can be someone that's a Lou Williams in terms of floor. I can definitely see him being a steady six man or a very good starter in the team, or being someone like a Goran that's somewhat a all-star player kind of player, someone like Kemba. I think that's his ceiling. For Bam, he's only getting better. We've seen comparisons to Dwight in his prime years, but such a better playmaker, such a better shooter. I think Bam's gonna be the star for this team in the future.
Yeah, I agree. However, I think the thing they're lacking is their bench cast is. I mean, it's good, but not all of them is. You know,
Yeah, it's
you get
questionable.
what I'm saying?
It's questionable. They lost Winslow in the Iguodala trade. Iggy's not getting any younger, obviously. We're getting great minutes from him playing, but he's not as efficient as he used to be. He's not the Finals MVP in 2015 anymore.
And I think they could use a better floor general. Perhaps get someone like Rondo.
Yeah, that would work actually if they can get a better floor general. But I think Rondo doesn't fit with the system that Coach Spoelstra is running, which needs great shooters. We've seen Tyler Hero being a great, decent point guard somewhat in spurts. Dragic has done his job. Kendrick Nunn has done his job. Jimmy Butler has handled the ball some. Maybe someone like Jeff Teague would be much more fit. Maybe for the bench, Olynyk's done a good job. Myers Leonard's done a decent job in the time they have played. Maybe get someone of someone like maybe someone like Marc Gasol will actually work with that lineup if Marc Gasol is willing to take a lesser role as a backup center.
Yeah. So kind of surprised you didn't pick the Raptors among your top 3 in the East.
Judging Raptors, the Raptors are actually a great team. We can't overlook the Raptors, especially after that 7-game series with the Celtics. But if you look at the Raptors lineup and the contrast that they have, they're losing uh, Fred Van Vliet's gonna be a free agent. Marc Gasol's gonna be a free agent. Ibaka's gonna be a free agent. They're losing three of their key players in this free agency potentially. Fred Van Vliet's definitely gonna get paid. Is Fred Van Vliet willing to stay at a lesser contract so they can keep someone like Ibaka? Gasol, if he does, definitely Gasol is someone that has a high chance of leaving because he's already 35. He wants to win those rings, or is he gonna stay because he loves the fit in the team as well? Lowry's getting older as well. Maybe they can work around the contracts with those players if they're gonna keep him. But I really like them to keep Fred VanVleet and Ibaka. Still, we can't say for sure. And also, we saw Pascal Siakam crumble in the postseason since this was his first time as the legitimate number one option. We still have yet to see if he can do that again at a higher level like he did this past season. Can he be that guy? And he needs a legitimate number two as well. Also, that's where Fred VanVleet comes in, if he is gonna stay with the Raptors or not. So still a lot of question marks with the Raptors, you see. But Masai Ujiri has done a really awesome job with the Raptors. Maybe they can get Giannis in a few years if Giannis is willing to move to Canada. Although, yeah, it's gonna be really doubtful. Although there are rumors that is the plan with the Raptors. Maybe they'll take a step back next season, but judging from the free agent class in 2021, I can see. The free agency. Oh yeah, the free agency class in 2021. I think the Raptors are gonna make a splash in 2021.
Yeah, and actually, the narrative about the Raptors has been reversed. Back then, it was about, oh no, it's Canada, it's another country, ew. And
Yeah.
when Kawhi won a title for them, everything changed. It's like,
Canada's such a beautiful country. Canada's have such good people. It's really changed for Canada.
it's not just Toronto. It's a whole country.
Yeah, it's a whole country. When you play for the Raptors, you got a whole country. You got a whole country backing you up, and I think players love that.
Though then again, there's the issue on eligibility, travel rules,
Yeah.
the way of living, etc., passports and such.
Yeah, we've heard complaints from the likes of Lou Williams complaining about those things. Yeah, lemon pepper Lou. He actually trademarked that name now, so yeah, we can call him Lemon Pepper Lou now.
Let's move on to our final topic because we've been here for a while.
Just a heads up to the audience, yung masusunod naming episode, it would be 3 topics for the following episodes. There'd be more commentaries, more of mga kwentuhan, more kalokohan sa mga pag-uusapan namin. We really enjoyed this episode more as we got to converse more about basketball, but we'll make sure it's gonna be a funny one next episode. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. It's been fun for us. Hopefully, it's been fun for you as well. We'll try to get some guests in the episode as well.
Yeah. So for our final topic, with those factors we've talked about earlier, do you think the power is shifting from the west to the east? Because Kevin Durant is in the east, Giannis is in the east, and stuff like that. And Pascal Siakam is in the east. Jason Tatum is starting to look like a generational talent.
Yeah, we can definitely see that the power is shifting. If you look at the West, the only good teams that we could see in the next decade would be Denver and maybe Utah, or for a bit of stretch would be the Portland Trailblazers or the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
But we've seen proven stars move to the East now, and teams that are contending in Miami, in Milwaukee, and in Boston. So yeah, there seems to be a power shift in the coming years. But as we've seen history, the West has always been the better, quote unquote, better conference between the two. And who knows, maybe the conference setup would be eliminated by the coming years, as we've seen the talks about 16 best teams in the playoffs talk.
Though I highly doubt that that will happen because imagine the travel.
Yeah, the troubles is gonna be difficult, but the NBA has not been afraid to make changes, especially
Yeah.
Adam Silver.
Yeah. And if you notice the records of the teams back then, do you remember the Phoenix Suns winning 48 games and still not making the playoffs?
Yeah, that really sucks. That's why I think the 16 best team is gonna be a setup that's gonna be considered heavily in the coming years.
I mean, the Phoenix Suns, I think that was the time when Goran Dragic was
Yeah,
the
Goran Dragic is the most improved player, and Bledsoe actually played well.
yeah, they won 48 games under Jeff Hornacek and
Yeah,
they
that
didn't make and they didn't make the playoffs, which is very surprising. And now, look at the West. Um the 8th seed barely has games over 500. It's
yeah.
almost the same as the East.
The Portland Trail Blazers were 35 and 39. Yeah, so yeah, they're a below 500 team. The past few years, the 8 seed has been a below 500 team in the West.
Yeah. And
But the same can be said in the East though, with Orlando and Brooklyn.
yeah, so do you think is the power shifting or is the West just becoming weaker?
It's just not necessarily weaker, but more of a balancing out.
Yeah.
I think we have enough great teams in the East and enough great teams in the West.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's also a factor that the super teams are not that much now because it's been two guys with
Yeah.
from team to team like LeBron and AD.
The
Kawhi
Kawhi,
and-
Paul, and Joe George,
Yeah.
Jalen Brown, and Jason Tatum to some extent. I mean, we've seen the impact of a super team on someone's career. KD wasn't happy in the super team. Yes, he won the chips, but look at him. He moved after 3 years because he knew the people, the media, won't see you as a champion when you build a super team. And Kawhi made a good choice actually, but not by not joining the Lakers and going to the Clippers instead.
Though, were you rooting for the Lakers to sign Kawhi?
I have to admit,
As
I am
as a
a
Laker
Laker
fan.
fan. I have to admit, I wanted Kawhi on my team. He got us hostage. We ended up with Danny Green, and I can only take him for that.
because the Lakers missed out on a lot of free
Yeah,
agents.
they missed out on Kyrie. They missed out on Jimmy Butler. They missed out on Angelo Russell. They missed
That's
out on
some
a lot.
stretch. There are some rumors about Klay Thompson going to LA. Which,
Yeah, but actually, I think if not for the Achilles injury, Clay would have joined the Lakers. I mean the ACL injury,
Though I don't see Klay Thompson playing anywhere.
except the Warriors. Yeah,
Yeah.
such a good fit with the Warriors with Steve Kerr's system, just pairing up with Steph Curry. It works so well. I think overall, the power is not necessarily shifting to the East, but it's more of a balancing out.
Yeah. I agree. And the younger guys, they just keep getting better.
Yeah, the younger
never
the younger players, we've not seen anything like this.
We've never seen someone like Zion being a cover of a licensed
NBA
NBA
2K.
video game at age.
Age 19, man.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's unheard of.
that guy is younger than us, and he's on the cover of 2K. We only got the cover of 2K and 2K13.
And I can see Zion being considered as one of the GOATs, perhaps in after 10 years.
As long as those knees keep up,
Yeah, it's a big question mark though.
yeah, he can be considered one of the greats. As well as we've seen with Giannis. He's probably there now, on the cusp of making that argument as the GOAT. He just needs to win those chips first.
Okay, so we've been talking for a long time now.
I think
So
that's about an hour now that we've been talking about. This has
basketball.
been a really long first episode, and this
Yeah.
was supposed to be our prelude episode. Yeah, but
Okay, bro.
it's
Final
been fun.
question though. Final question.
Yeah,
NBA Finals. Who will
like
be on it?
Lakers, Boston. I want Lakers, Boston.
Yeah, it's a historic.
Yeah, we need that rivalry back. The ratings are down for the NBA, and having the Lakers and Boston back in the finals, I'm sure that's gonna bring back the ratings. Maybe the referees will do something about it. We've heard it before. I hope not, but we'll see. But I still got the Lakers in 5.
Nice. So personally, for me, I can see Lakers versus Heat. Gotta root for Eric Spoelstra, man. Filipino. Yeah, and
Supposed done a great job.
and to be honest, I can see it going 7 games, but I don't see the Heat being beaten in a series. Especially looking at their lineup, they have Jimmy Butler, Bama Adebayo, Andre Iguodala. That's a lineup full of rugged guys. I don't see them being defeated in the East. So I'm
Yeah,
calling Lakers versus Heat. I have the Lakers in 5.
Lakers 5, man. Hindi kami bias. Lakers in 5 talaga. Anyway, yeah, the Heat have a stronghold now in the Eastern Finals, but you never know. Boston was up 2-0 against the Raptors, but they almost lost it. Maybe Boston can do the same magic as the Raptors and instead win it all in Game 7. We'll see.
Dude, the Bucks were up 2-0, and I honestly think they were going to sweep the Raptors last year, and
Yeah,
they never won since.
yeah. Things are crazy in the playoffs. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll see in the coming days what will happen in the NBA. After that, we'll be checking the off season. We'll be checking as well on the PBA bubble that's coming up right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, this.
and you've heard of Kelly Williams issue, right?
Yeah, such a big news right now. Anyway, that's episode 0 for you guys. The prelude that's gone quite so long, but I'm sure it's been fun. It's been fun for us. We hope it's been fun for you as well. Forgive us if it took this long. We're gonna make better content for you next time. We're gonna add all these sound effects next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah,
And don't worry, this will be edited, so
Oh,
I highly doubt it will be that long.
yeah. Yeah. Maybe this will be around 30 minutes, I guess. But to end this episode, I'll just like to drop off this sound effect. Oh wait. I like to drop. Yeah, there we go. I like to drop this sound effect.
Wala na. Finish na.
There we go. Yeah, finish na. Finish na. Finish na.
Wow. So, guys, before we go, I'd like to share this quote from the late Kobe Bryant. It says here, if you're afraid to fail, then you're probably going to fail.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom right there.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mamba.
Yes, rest peace, Mamba. And this will be a running theme for the following episodes. Just sharing quotes from NBA legends. Probably for now, mostly from Kobe because Kobe's given us such a lot to share about. But we'll be stepping out from Kobe as well. Maybe some from LeBron, maybe some from MJ. Anything that will keep us, that may be something that you just listen to and get you started up in the day. So I guess that's it.
Guys.
That's it, guys.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
So anyway, guys, this has been Palm Hoops Podcast, episode 0, the prelude. I hope you guys enjoyed it, although it's gotten kind of long. We really enjoyed it, and just like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave your questions down below, and we'll try to answer them all. Again, my name is Angelo, and my partner Jem Aberin. Thank you, guys.